I coach because I believe that everybody should have the opportunity to be successful in their career, and that when they go to work, because we spend so much of our waking hours in our careers and our work, that it should be a great experience for all of us. There are many favorite parts about coaching, but one of the ones that sticks out to me is the moment when a client has taken a concept and they really have applied it for themselves and they see how the shift happens for them and they don't want to go back to their old way of being. They're really feeling confident and empowered to move on from where they were to where they want to be. A lot of it is trust, right? You have to build rapport and you have to build trust and you have to meet the client where they are. I may have a bigger desire, a bigger goal for my client, but until they are ready to embrace that for themselves, then we have to go at their pace. For me, personally and professionally, being seen is who I am. Being heard, um, and feeling comfortable to be myself, right? It doesn't mean that I'm going to bring my whole self to work because there's parts of me that shouldn't be at work, right? But it means that I can bring who I need to be successful in the work environment and that I'm received that way and not having to, as we talked earlier, about being in a box because that's not me, right? So when I'm working with clients, we have to find their way of feeling like they belong in their own organizations or in their own teams and looking at what's missing for them to do that in a way that's natural for them, where they don't have to feel like they have to fit in or retrofit, right? But can just show up and be who they are. We talk about values, what parts of themselves are they hiding, right? That would be important for the organization or for their work personally to be a better marketing person or whatever it happens to be what their role is what parts of you that are hiding that don't feel safe enough to come out that would help you to be a better whatever you are in your organization and produce better outcomes for either products or services or what is it, because right now you're holding back. So that means your creativity is stunted, your enjoyment is stunted, and therefore you don't feel like you belong. They can see that something isn't in alignment, right? We are out of alignment. So how do I get aligned so that I can feel like my best self and be my best self in my work? For me, it's like, oh, they got it, right? I'm super excited about that. I think for them, it just is like freeing. It's like, wow, I finally found this mecca that I've been looking for and didn't realize that I could possibly have or that it even existed, right? And once they're in that, it's almost like they can do anything. They're excited and can do anything. And people around them start to see a difference. What's shifted? What's changed? That it feels different. That person is behaving differently. And so people like that. There will be times when I may work with an organization or a team where I'll ask the leader not to talk. Because what happens sometimes is once the leader talks, then people think that's gospel, and so therefore their contribution is not valued. So we ask sometimes for a leader not to speak first, but to wait till everybody has spoken and then potentially agree or support or maybe add one other element, but not detract. I think we all should have that responsibility. This is not an individual thing. Sometimes it's person by person, sometimes it's team by team, sometimes it's organization by organization, but we all have the responsibility. As a coach, we should be thinking about the betterment of all society, not just this one individual, but we should think about what does this work impact? I see it growing tremendously. I've seen it grow tremendously. We've seen it grow tremendously over the last 20 years. People didn't know what coaching was. Now most Fortune 500 companies have coaching of some sort in them, and most leaders have gone through some sort of coaching whatsoever. And there are some organizations that are really working hard on making sure that people have access to coaching, just like we should have access to mental health, right? So creating a system where people at lower levels in an organization have access to coaching, because I can't get to a higher level if I don't have the support. Again, belonging. Do I have support to do what I want to do in this organization, or do I not have access to that? So having organizations be able to filter down power coaching.